Hello, everybody, and good morning. Thank you so much for tuning into the show yet again. I'm here to tell you guys that it is about time that you follow or subscribe to the show wherever you listen. I know y'all are out there listening, and you're not subscribing, and you're not following the show, and I don't like that kind of behavior. You guys know I'm tired of working these garbage jobs, wasting my time. The links are in the description of the show wherever you listen. All the links, all the social media links, all the different platforms. Wherever you listen, all I ask is to subscribe, to follow. Please, please, I'm begging you, subscribe, follow, and most importantly, enjoy today's episode. Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. It is January the 3rd. No, it is not. It is January the 10th. Holy shit. Last week was the 3rd. But it is finally snowing where I am. Snowing over here in Rhode Island, as I'm recording this. And it's about time, right? It was about time. And I think it's the right time, right? January, there should be no snow before January, ever. Ever. Any time that there was snow before the month of January has been, I think it's a hoax. I think you might as well file it under with Operation Northwoods and Operation Mongoose and the Gulf of Tonkin and all these things, because snow before January it's fading, it's fleeting, right? It's basically old news, environmental normalities are just, they're nothing. They're not a thing anymore, right? Before, it used to snow solely in the first week of January, right? Right at the end of it. Historically, time over time, there has been just snow at that time, and none after and none before. It is literally just one shot, poof, here's some snow just to keep everyone occupied, right? And I'm happy that that's where it is now. I'm happy that Mother Nature has kept it together for us, right? Because we need it. We need it. I mean, there's just craziness, and thank God that it took until January the 7th, as I'm recording this episode, that it snowed. Right? Thank God. Because we cannot afford, in this economy, in this state with inflation, we can't afford snow before then. We couldn't even afford cold weather until a couple weeks ago. It's great. I think it's great that the Northeast has been subject to some of the most drastic forms of climate change, in the sense of there being no snow and no cold. I think that's pretty good. It gives us something to look forward to as a generation, right? As a people. That's why our generation is excited, because we are going to see something that not every generation gets to. We're going to be at the forefront of a revolution of weather. That's what people are worried about, and rightfully so. The weather is fucked up. It should... Whoops, hold on. There we go. Now I'm nice and high. Not actually high. I wish I was. Makes doing this shit far easier. Oh. But yeah, it gives us something to look forward to. The end. We get to see the end. We get to see the empire crumble. But as I always say, thank the media for keeping us updated. Thank the media for letting us know when people... I read an article the other day that the headline was... it was regarding COVID and Omicron, which, by the way, is a phenomenal new car that Nissan just dropped. The Nissan Omicron, rated best in class by J.D. Power. I mean, it's... Let me tell you guys, I test drove it. I'm thinking about getting one myself. It is fast, mild, very mild, and quick, in and out. You bang from place to place, boom. Very fast, 40 miles to the gallon. That's hard to find. That's hard to find. And, we want to stay economical here. So it only makes sense to go ahead, get the Nissan Omicron. Brand new model. I love it. But it was an article regarding that car, and it said things are only going to get worse. That was the headline, that things are only going to get worse. And how exciting is that? How encouraging is it that anytime you turn on the news, you can find something that literally says, hey, things aren't getting better. Any given day, right? On the grand scheme, on the grand scale, your life can get better, of course. Your life individually can get better. But the whole of the populace of the world, as we are members of, is altogether getting worse. Things are only going to go downhill from here. That's basically what that article... And that was just the headline. I didn't read the rest of the article. I mean, what more do you need to read? I think the headline is... a headline like that should be taken at face value. There's nothing else to read. It doesn't even need to say anything about COVID or anything. All it needs to say is, things are going to get worse. As long as it says things are going to get worse, that's fine. It's fine. It doesn't even need to be about a particular topic, It could be anything. It could be, climate change like we're talking about. It doesn't matter because people don't care anyway. Right? Nothing matters anymore. Nothing matters anymore. It never did, which is astonishing to me why people lead a life thinking that we make it out. It's astonishing to me that there's people who are so worried of trying to do something that they really want. When everyone's planning for the future. Oh, the future, because I'm 24, right? So everyone's thinking 20 years down the road, 30 years down. I'm gonna have this and I'm gonna have that. No, you're not. No, you're not. No matter how hard you plan, nothing, whatever. 20 years down the road, we are going to be living virtually. Computerized lives. Nothing. Homes will have literally nothing in them but a screen. And that screen will project out anything that you need. A usable table will be projected out from that. It'll literally be, homes will be just a big open room with a roof and a screen that just goes bajoing anytime you ask for something. Remember SpongeBob when Plankton, he's always asking his wife for a meal and it was a holographic meatloaf again. That's what it's going to be. It's the metaverse, baby. It's the metaverse. That's what's coming because we're not going to be able to go outside. We're going to be underwater in 20 years. Oh, a good thing I, worked real hard and invested in this house. Good thing I bought some land. Good thing I started that business. Good thing, It's 20 years down the road, motherfucker, and we're underwater. Everything that you have that is of substance to you, anything that is... anything you hold dear to your heart that aren't your family or your children or anything is online. It's virtual. People don't even drive cars anymore. You can't. A fucking submarine pulls up to your house and drives you to work. It's the new Uber. It's underwater. Everything. Thank God Uber, right? Uber will make it happen, right? Regardless of the situation outside, people, us Americans, we need to go to work. We need to go to work and... if there's roads to be fixed and electrical problems to be handled, a submarine powered by Uber will be able to pick you up and take you wherever you need to be. Even though we're underwater, right? All those things, we still need our roads to look nice, right? And all that. We gotta be able to employ people. We gotta make sure tourism is still up. What is the world of tourism gonna be? What is the industry of tourism one day going to be? You think that'll just be a completely wiped out industry? I think that there will be a time when most of the planet is so unattractive. Most of the planet is so unattractive that tourism will be a very specialized field. It's going to be, a very specific group of people who already live in a place that is more or less something we're used to now, right? Like looking outside and a suburb, right? A nice suburb with a school in the air. That'll be tourism, right? And that'll be like the generations of people that somehow and had strong communities that somehow were able to maintain that, but it won't be for long because, again, as we do, everything erodes. So, the different parts of the world, I think, will be accessible for tourism. But, I mean, I could see cruises being huge, right? I mean, if we're all underwater, it would be nice to sometimes have a little air every once in a while and get on a cruise, and you can watch a movie while you eat 3 sandwiches, and you're actually above water, which will be interesting. Because, as I said before, all of our homes will be boxes, metal ones, right? Because they have to be able to withstand the power of the ocean. And they will be metal, and they'll be temperature controlled, again, based on just a big screen. Everyone stands in front of a big screen, and you ask it things, and your job is there. You walk in place, and it's like you're walking to the bus stop, and you sit, and, for people. And what about trades, right? Trades, there'll be new trades. There'll have to be different trades, right? Like construction development is going to be very different. I don't know if cranes will work underwater, right? I don't know how high we can build buildings anymore, considering how much higher what about those bridges that are underwater, right? Will those just be filled up with water? I don't know. I have no clue. I think it's all interesting stuff, though, right? Because we are at the forefront of the the more or less end of an empire. Regardless of whether you want to believe it or not, people, there is some pretty crazy shit happening. I don't know if you have noticed, but there is some interesting stuff going on. It's disheartening. It definitely is, but I'm an absurdist, and I'm a cynical satirist. I'm a septum suffering succotash. It's jokes, but there's some points behind these jokes, and it's the fact that we have fucked up and we have completely ruined the ability that our brains have, the capacity that our brains have. We've ruined it with these terrible feelings of greed and destruction and power and control. These are the ugliest sides of humans, ugliest sides of it. Well, aside from the people who eat at, like a Subway and a Walmart, those. It's pretty much those other things that I described, power, greed, control over the human race, and then people who eat at Walmart Subways. They're like think of the most tyrannical, Stalin, Hitler, Hirohito, Kim Jong-un, Kim Jong-il, those kind of people, and then the people who eat Nathan's hot dogs that's connected to the post office while they're waiting for stamps or whatever the fuck. Those two classes of people have actually contributed the most to the destruction of human society as we know it. But what can you do? They're the most powerful, both of those people, the most powerful. The mass consumer as well as the mass manipulator. That's basically what those two things are, the mass manipulator and the mass consumer, because without one, there isn't the other. We need them both. They're both incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. In other news, right, in other more lighting news, Joe Gatto from the Impractical Jokers is stepping down. He's retiring. I'm pretty sure I read the article and it said he was stepping down. He was stepping down like he was a fucking monarch. King Gatto III is stepping down from His Highness so he can fucking live on a boat. I don't know. Supposedly he's getting divorced, but what I think is actually happening, what I think Joe Gatto is going to do, it's going to be one of two things. It's going to be one of two things. The first one is he's going to join Ghislaine's legal team. Ghislaine Maxwell, for those you don't know, she's kind of in trouble with some stuff and some people do, we haven't heard much about it on the news because it's nothing crazy, right? It's not anything too wild. It's nothing you really need to put on the TV, right? Nobody should really know about it. It's really like behind the scenes stuff. But it is a trial that is happening, and it's kind of a deal, it's a deal. And I think Joe Gatto is going to go ahead and join the legal team for Ghislaine. And because, as you all know, he is a very convincing man. Anybody who's watched the show knows that he's capable of, wording things in a way where he can really make a difference on, when defending a more or less decent person in Ghislaine, I mean, more or less, she, again, I don't want to get into it, you could do your own research on the trial and whatever, but, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but I think that Gatto would really make a difference, because again, I mean, he's a charming guy, he's charming, and he's getting divorced, so he'll be on the market. So why wouldn't he go into business with Ghislaine? Why wouldn't he go into, he might as well. He gets her off, right? He makes something happen in the courtroom, and hey, Ghislaine is good to go. She is good to go, and they can go into business together. They can go into business, and I hear she's into real estate. She's like a island. She does something with islands. She has these nice estates where these really high class people go to. It's kind of like like how Trump has the towers, right, where people can get apartments, and it's kind of real luxury stuff, high end people. Tom Brady, right, he's got a nice apartment, from Trump, and Ghislaine does kind of a similar thing, right? She has these villas on islands that real high class people have access to. And I mean, if I was a Joe Gatto with, any and every opportunity on the table, I mean, those four guys on Impractical Jokers were basically the Beatles for the time that they were doing it, and they were absolutely running it up, doing funny, stupid shit together. And if there's something that Ghislaine knows a lot about, it's funny, stupid shit. Those two would be great. I think it would be a positive thing. I think it would be a positive thing for Ghislaine to get a guy like Joe Gatto on her side, a guy that is so well liked, a guy, not that Ghislaine isn't, loved worldwide as well. I mean, we all know that. Even if you don't know what she's on trial for, we all know that she is one of the most beloved. She might have been People Magazine Person of the Year at one point. I could be wrong, but if not, then I mean she's in the running. And I don't know. I think that would make a good match. I think that would be cool. That's my prediction. It's either that, right? He's either going to go ahead and do that, or equally as high powering, he's going to go ahead and give Senate a go, right? Run for Senate. Why not? The guy from Impractical Jokers. You might as well. I think whoever he fills in or whoever he replaces should fill in for him on Impractical Jokers. I don't know if they're going to keep doing the show, but if they do, whoever he replaces should have to go do that show. I think it would be great. I don't know what state he's from, but we could just throw out a name. I don't know. What if he went ahead and who would be interesting? Maybe like a Mitch McConnell, right? He replaces a nice Mitch McConnell, and then Mitch comes out and does, he goes to a class where he's meant to be a teacher and people know who he is, and he tells them how to prevent anybody from getting anything they want. He does that. That's like his joke, and people are there, and they're like, and people start looking at each other like, okay, I knew there was something up, and, and then they're telling him things in his headpiece. Tell him, Mitch, about how you want to block. Tell him how you want to block the votes, man. Tell him. That's how you want to do it. This is political theory. And then, if he bitches out at the end and he's like, I don't know, then he has to do the crazy challenge, right? They should swing him by his toes in front of the Congress building while the former member, Joe Gatto, is up there giving his take on free health care, right? And he'll be up there, scoop, ski, patata. Everyone's gonna have to pay if they're sick. Too fucking bad, scoop, ski, patata. I hope you fucking got a good job that covers health care, because if you break your toe, it'll be $2,000 pot patata. I think that would be nice. I don't know. I think either of those two lanes, he could do whatever he wants. But in my mind, I think those two fit him the best. I think they fit him the best. And I think that, he would do well. I really do. I think he would do well. And I think that they're the highest probability. He's going to do one of those two things, if not both. Now, if he did both, that's a power play. If he went ahead and defended Ghislaine while being a member of the Senate, dog, he's got to be the person of the century. He's got to be. Joe Gatto from Impractical basically the Beatles of funny TV shows. He was like, he's John Lennon. He's the first one to leave. He's the most famous one. I mean, it's him. It's him all day, son. He could do anything he wants, but again, I think he should listen to what I'm saying. I think he should take into serious consideration what I'm saying. And same thing with the person he replaces in the Senate. I think that person should go ahead and be on Impractical Jokers. If they lose or they don't do the one that they're supposed, they get a knock on their thing, and the punishment that they do at the end of the show. I think whoever it is should be duct taped to a big pole while people berate them and tell them about how their children died in hospitals and how their husbands killed themselves from being exposed to traumatic experiences at wars that they had no businesses being in, and coming home and leaving their families alone. I think that they should be berated with that shit. They should get 300, 400, a mob of people just to be in line with these really sad, horrific stories of shit that particular representative went ahead and made happen based on whatever legislature they voted in or out. Like, for example, the guy or the person, the girl who voted against, we'll say, who voted against mental health care being a part of insurance packages, right? Say that was and then they should have every person who a family member went ahead and blew their head off because they had no access to a professional or a counselor or anything like that because they didn't have the money. They didn't have the job. And even if they did have the job, it wasn't included in the insurance. So, I don't know. It's just ideas. I don't know. I think it would be fun. I think it would be a fun thing to do, especially now. I mean, times are so just free. Times right now, I don't know. I think this may be one of the best times to be a human. I think it is. I don't know what it is, but there's just prosperity in the air and potential. True potential for anything and anyone that is willing to go that extra mile to make something happen they can from anywhere. The closeness of social conditions when it comes to equality right now, how closely equal everyone is. It is, I mean, it's neck and neck. The other day, I saw Jeff Bezos at Shaw's. He was buying a rotisserie chicken for the family. They're cheap, $7. And you can feed a family of 3 or 4 with one of those. You get some sides. Maybe you hit up Burger King, grab some French fries for the family, Bang it out. Nice meal for under $20. You got drinks at home, water, Crystal. I saw him. I talked to him. I said, "Hey, Jeff, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? I know you came to Shaw's in Rhode Island. I mean, what the hell? Aren't you just..." And he's like, "Hey, man, I'm one of you. I am just like you, my friend. Everyone says I'm 110 billion, 120 billion. Everyone thinks I can just push a button and make everything better. It's just a construct. It's a construct and blinders. They're putting blinders on you, people. They're putting blinders on you. If you can't see that, if you can't see yourself sitting next to Warren Buffett at a fucking McDonald's, then I don't know. You might just be delusional. You unfortunately are misinformed and behind, but it's okay because you're listening to the right show. And I want to make sure everyone understands that we are in an age of true optimism and beauty and life and love and light and happiness and joy. Truly. And on that note, I read another article, something real quick, I got to pull it up on my phone. So supposedly there's some protests happening in Kazakhstan. The large monumental world power that is Kazakhstan, where the likes of Borat and Gennady Gennadyevich Golovkin hail from, as well as Zhumagulov in the UFC, who got absolutely dogged his last fight. But anyway, Kazakhstan, the president of Kazakhstan has ordered that, I guess there's some protesting going on, and he has ordered that they should be killed. The protesters should be killed without warning. Without warning, just shot and killed in the street. And I don't know if they have a Bill of Rights or human rights, or if they talk about any of that shit. I don't know if you're allowed to protest in Kazakhstan, which, in my mind, if you grew up there and you know what, I guess, the rules are, and whether or not, like over here, we know you can protest peacefully, and most of the time you're okay. Now, from this article, these people aren't really protesting peacefully, but for the president to say, "Hey, we are going to kill without warning," that's ambitious. That is ambitious. That's strong. That is an interesting take, to say the least. That is very. He cares about his country, man. He wants it to be a nice place. He wants peace. Let me read it to you. Let me read. President Kasim Jomart Tokayev. Right, I'll tell you his words once we get into the quotations. Right, so on Friday, January 7th, he had given shoot-to-kill orders to deal with further disturbances from those he called bandits and terrorists, adding that those who failed to surrender would be destroyed. Not just killed, but destroyed. That is a word. Anytime a high-powering official, government official, authority, anytime one of them says the word destroy, something good's happening. Regardless of what they're talking about, if a president or a prime minister of a country, an emperor, a king, anything, if they say destroy, doesn't matter what follows. Something. That they are willing to go, they're willing to take the extra steps. They're willing to take the extra steps to make sure that people understand the type of country they're living in and that they're going to be okay. They're going to be fine. Up to 20,000 bandits, quote unquote, had attacked the biggest city, Almaty, and had been destroying state property. Now, that's not good. That's not good. 20,000 people going and destroying shit in the biggest, most powerful city. That's not good. right? It happened over here in D.C. not too long ago, actually. It was like a year ago, January 6th or 5th or one of those things. Could you imagine if the president at the time, a fella by the name Donald Trump, I don't know if you've heard of him, Donald Trump, imagine if he went on TV and said, we are going to destroy every person that went into the Capitol building. We're going to destroy them. We are going to run an absolute slaughterhouse. We're going to be pumping out dead bodies like you've never seen before if you keep fucking. Could you imagine if that happened? That would be news. This is like some little thing. Nobody cares about this, right? Tokiev said in a televised address after a week when protests over fuel prices exploded into a countrywide wave of unrest. Wow, the whole fucking country. So this guy's willing to kill the whole country. Every person that he fucking governs over, the whole country is just in unrest over the price of gas, which is interesting, right? Because that shit never happens here. Gas is always expensive. People always bitching about gas. Jesus Christ, gas, so much money. We never do enough to warrant our leader threatening us with murder and destruction. Maybe soon enough. We got to try harder. He said as part of the counter-terrorist operation, he had ordered the law enforcement agencies and the army to shoot to kill without warning. Now, here's some quotes here. The militants have not laid down their arms. They continue to commit crimes or are preparing for them. The fight against them must be pursued to the end. Whoever does not surrender will be destroyed. Destroyed. That's awesome. He said he dismissed calls to hold talk with protesters. What stupidity. What kind of talks can we hold with criminal and murderers? You know, it's funny because here in America, we're so worried about words. We're so worried about how our world leaders look and how they talk. We're always like Trump would say things and people would be like, ooh, we got to control him. We shouldn't say that. It doesn't seem like they have that same kind of worry here in Kazakhstan. They don't have a huge, image to uphold when it comes to their leader. You know, it seems like they're not worried about that because as it says in the article, this was on a televised event. He said this same shit. He doesn't call them protesters. He calls them terrorists. And they're criminals and murderers. You know? That is just no tolerance. That's like that teacher you had in, elementary school that just didn't, as soon as you did a thing, you got kicked out. Go to the office. Go to the office. That's this guy. Go to the office. Get shot and killed in the street with all your friends. Go to the office. Basically. We had to deal with well-armed and well-prepared bandits, local as well as foreign, more precisely with terrorists, so we have to destroy them. This will be done soon. We have a special agent coming in. His name is Kyle Rittenhouse, and he will help us keep the peace. Some of you may know him for killing a couple people in his hometown, but he cared so much for his hometown that he was willing to sacrifice his life. And we're recruiting him here in Kazakhstan. That's from the article. That's Reuters. That's Reuters.com. But no, all that other shit was real. And it kind of like made me think. It was like, wow, if we just dismissed all our protesters as terrorists, if we just called them that, then it's like, okay, there's a rhetoric built. We can go ahead and just kill them in the streets. But if we keep saying, hey, these are protesters and these are protests while riots are actually happening, then it's like, we can't kill. You shouldn't be killing. But if you were to kill, it would be much easier to help put people at ease if you just called them terrorists, not protesters. Also, what also made me think about is, okay, these people are going crazy. They're destroying things kind of like how people in here were doing and kind of are still doing sometimes. Not as rampant as it once was in the civil unrest and the destruction and all that. But when people went ahead and barged into the Capitol building a year ago and everyone went nuts, nobody did anything. Everyone got in there, they climbed, they went nuts, And they didn't do anything. They didn't drag AOC by the hair and start beating her with hammers in front of the State House or in front of the Congress building, the Capitol building, you know. They didn't grab the Speaker of the House and start pulling out teeth and ripping off fingernails. There was no waterboarding. There was nothing. What kind of a crazed revolution is this? Are you willing to die for the cause or not? These people in Kazakhstan, I don't know if it's still happening after the president went ahead and said, hey, keep fucking around. We're going to kill. I don't know if they're taking it seriously. Maybe they are. But over here, we didn't do anything with our shit. And our president, no president ever said that he was willing to kill us. I'm sure it happened, right? There were times where protests in the early 1900s, motherfuckers would just get shot and killed, which is great, right? It's kind of like it shows how like Kazakhstan is just willing to keep that. And maybe, just maybe we have a lot to learn from them. Maybe we should start taking some of their ideas. I don't know, just a thought. Guys, we got to wrap this fucking show up. I'm having too much fun on here. You guys have been great. Listen, we're at the end of the episode today, but I have an announcement. Friday, the 21st, if you're in the New York City area or you want to go to New York to see yours truly, go ahead and do 5 minutes at a club. It's called Stand Up New York, if I remember correctly. Why won't this work? Give me 2 seconds. I don't know why it matters because ain't nobody going, but it is called Stand Up New York. Yes. Took all that time to look it up. But I'm going there doing 5 minutes. Check my Instagram for updates. Also, in the description, you'll see a new link because I know everybody looks at these. There's a new link there for it's my personal Instagram. That'll be where I have comedy shit, my personal stuff. So follow that. If you can't get enough of me from just listening to me on here, you want to know what the fuck's going on in my life, go ahead and do that. But follow the show. That's even more important. Follow the show. Follow the show's social media. The link's in the description. That's it, motherfuckers. I'm done. Talk to y'all on Thursday. Peace.